weather to poorer communities is doctored, tainted and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions. It is vital to rely on news platforms with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your products and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the website they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our new site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters in Islam, my fellow believers. Assalamu alaikum, the Muslim world, the world over. Inshallah, today I am here as usual. I am not stranger to this topic or to this platform or to communicating pertinent and relevant and emerging issues to you all. So today is no different. Today is actually one of the series of talks that I have given in recent months and recent years concerning, the issue of Palestine and Israel, and Israelis and Palestinians, and to the broader scope, Jews and Muslims all over the world. So today, I came with urgency because we are at the crossroads as Muslim community globally, and wherever we are experiencing an urgent and emerging dire issues to be addressed. And all Muslim leaders with righteous minds and sound intellect, should use this urgency, to guide and assist the Muslim world forward. We should not have those who are either biased or narrow-minded or have very limited understanding of the issues at hand or Islamic in general, to be the loudest voice out there. Unfortunately, this has been the case for the Muslim, history for as long as we can tell. Individuals with the loudest, unfortunately, can be very destructive, to the Muslim world. And that is why I always, whether I am alone on my positions or, whether my positions are very unpopular, but one thing, they have always been truthful, authentic, and accurate. You can check as far back as you can check. Things may start for me to be alone on it. Then later on, the issue that I champion and highlight and insist on becomes, the dominant, force to be embraced. And, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives wisdom to whomever He pleases. Allah guides whomever He pleases. Allah strengthens the tongues of whomever He pleases. And I am forever grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me the bravery and the leadership and the boldness and the love for my community and the love for my religion and the love, for my fellow Muslim to always stand up to what I firmly believe, is the right position to stand on, and to always articulate to the strongest terms possible, things that I believe common man in our community must know and understand, so that we will not be misled by leaderless leaders, individuals who have absolutely no leadership, no knowledge, no wisdom. Some of them are very biased, some of them are very narrow focused on what they are peddling. And so I'm here with urgency, and that urgency is what is currently taking place, in terms of the relationship between Jews and Muslim Americans, between Jewish and Muslim Americans. And this applies globally, but since we are in Americas, and to be specific in the United States, then let me concentrate on this locality. But the topic is relevant globally. We are at the crossroads when it comes to keeping or losing our relationships, between American Jews and American Muslims. We are now at the crossroads. But as faithful people who have been taught that every difficulty brings opportunity, every challenge is key to open doors, every concern one has, they has already been remedied. This is the background that faith gives us, knowing that even the worst of the times, the faithful can find the best of actions to move their flags forward, to bring relief, to a certain victory, and to encourage and guide, people into better and more righteous, platforms and plateaus. And on that vein, we know that as difficult as our relationships has been in the last several weeks, they pose challenge, but they open greater opportunities, for us to take advantage of, so that we can build a stronger, more durable, more enduring relationship between Jews and Muslims. Historically, we have never been, separable. Regardless of who's in power, Muslims and Jews all over the world had symbiotic coexistence everywhere. Whether Muslims were in power, whether somebody else was in power, Muslims and Jews had always had symbiotic coexistence. And that symbiotic coexistence must continue on, because we have a lot at stake. So today, I want to communicate with my fellow Muslim Americans, as I always have done. Today, I want to redirect our attention, as we must, to our local and national common interests. Local and national interests that are important and vital for our success in the United States. Yes, we are traumatized. Yes, we are deeply impacted. Yes, we are directly connected. Yes, we are one body of Ummah. Therefore, any trouble occurring anywhere in the world, we must be part of it. And we must work to address it. And we must play our roles. We are Muslims, we are believers. That is our obligation. But that should never, ever take or destroy or eliminate or cancel or cover our local and national interests here in the United States. Never. Doing so will make us loser here and loser to the causes that we champion overseas. When we strengthen our bonds, when we protect our interests, when we focus on our local relationships, we are more able, more powerful, more equipped, and more ready to be helpful to international causes. Because strength brings the remedy that we need. Strength at home brings international remedy. But weakness at home, divided at home, ignorance at home, belligerent at home will only weaken the causes overseas and render us relevant, or worse yet, more damaging to the cause. So my brothers and my sisters, I am not new to this issue. I have been very vocal, very visible, because I love who we are. I love our religion. I love our people. And I love the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose us at this particular time to be among the fastest growing community, to be merciful messengers. Every Friday, my job is to talk to those who come and pray with me, to say, know your role. You are a merciful messenger. The neighborhood you live, the building you live, the company you work, the social circles you have, the street that you walk, the people you communicate with, the social group, media groups you're part of, they all must feel the mercifulness in you. They all must gravitate toward you. They must all benefit from you. And they must find love and happiness and tranquility and harmony and peace in you, because you are a Muslim. You follow a merciful messenger. You follow the Quran. You have the examples. You have the platform. And you have the duty and a moral obligation to always exude truth, love, harmony, and peace, and relieve burden from humanity. They don't have to be Muslim. They don't have to like you. They don't have to know you. But they must benefit from your existence because you are a Muslim. And when you are upset, don't talk. When you are angry, don't communicate to the public your anger so that your anger will reflect upon all Muslims. And a lot of people do it. Big mistake. Private problem becomes now a Muslim platform. So that, those who don't know Islam will say, wow, I don't want to know any more than this. And those who know Islam but don't like Islam say, well, this is the proof. I don't trust them. I don't like them. They're dangerous. They're terrorists. They're no good. They're ignorant. They're divisive. They're anti-everything. And those who know and love Islam will be embarrassed by the actions. Private anger becomes Muslim platform. The ones who know and love Islam become embarrassed. And Muslims are all suffer because of it. When you're angry, don't talk. When you're upset, don't talk. When you have private problems, don't make it an Islamic problem or Muslim problem. Deal with it. Talk to other Muslims. Talk to the relevant stakeholders, relevant parties. Bring relief to it. But don't ever use your private feeling and make it a Muslim one. It has been done many times, and we are paying for it. So today I want to redirect our focus on the local and national interests to Muslims. Every election for the past 2 decades, Muslim immigrant leaders, because a lot of our Islamic centers and Islamic schools and masajids have common ancestry to very few organizations that have controlled the narrative, control the dawah, control the language, control the leadership, and therefore dictates our behaviors. Very few organizations, a lot of people don't know. A lot of Muslims are not cognizant of the variables and the inner workings of the leadership within the primarily immigrant Muslim communities. And for that, their anger and their short focus or narrow focus or their biases now becomes, the cause that all Muslims must be part of. If not, then you're not Muslim. Or if not, or this and that and that. They put all the labels to those who are wise, educated, and focused on local and national interest to Muslims. Always put the label and stop even threatening, because you're not falling for their tricks and their plans and schemes. And these are highly operative individuals that can mesmerize, with their eloquence and, their plans. They understand the game. And they know that majority of Muslims are not sophisticated enough to understand this scheme. I am sophisticated enough, not only to understand it, to even teach them lessons. I know it. I know it from, even when I'm sleeping, I know it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with wisdom. I understand the components and inner workings of the Muslim community, whether they are native Muslims, immigrant Muslims, fourth generation, second generation, good Muslims, bad Muslims, ignorant Muslims. I know the inner workings of my religion, my community, my ummah. That's why I cannot be misled. I cannot be threatened so that I can change. Once you know the truth, once you have it, then you will be foolish to follow ignorant planners or biased planners or wicked planners or divisive planners or hateful planners. I will never allow such a thing. I follow Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam example. I follow Quran. And then I love my religion. I love who I am. I love my background. I love my family. I love my education. And I love the wisdom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow upon me. These are gifts Allah gave me, and I cherish it. And I will always. That's why I say from the bottom of my heart, I'm not afraid. I don't operate behind the scene. I'm not wicked. I don't have secret agenda. Every single thing about me is publicized, because nobody will define me according to their definition. I am defining myself publicly. I have been doing it for over 30 years. Everywhere I am, I define myself. You can say anything you want, but when people check, they can find who I am, what my priorities are, and what I believe in. So that is why today I'm here to let you know we are facing calamities if we follow the same usual actors who have narrow focus, sometimes one agenda. And that one agenda is an international agenda that sometimes interfere with our local interests. My brothers and my sisters, we are Muslims. Every suffering of a Muslim globally should hurt us deeply. But at the same time, we have local issues to manage. We have children to guide. We have families to support. We have future to protect. We have dignity, to be cherished. And we have honor that is worthy of protecting. And most importantly, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who made us merciful messengers in the wicked world, especially in this confused Western world, and in a world where only money talks and value evaporates. Allah said, you are a merciful messenger. Bring hope, bring life, bring dignity, bring honor, bring peace, bring tranquility, bring wisdom to the wicked world. But most importantly, bring it to the confused Western world. They are looking for the best for their family. They're just like you. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for good neighborhoods. They're looking for public safety. They're looking for good medical institutions. They're looking for Ivy League school for their children. They're looking to go on vacations. They're looking to be in peace and harmony with their neighbors. They're looking for clean environment. They're looking for safe and safety net. They're looking for all these things that you as a merciful messenger can be part of the solution, but should never ever be part of the liability, of the pain and hurt. They're looking for you. They're looking for you. You're not obligated to do what you can, but what you can do is more than enough to relieve a lot of people. And don't never ever underestimate your God-given ability to make your street, your neighborhood, your building, your community a shining star where people begin to say, I love this guy, I love this girl. I want to know more about this guy or this girl. This guy or girl represents something that is so profoundly important to our well-being. He does not discriminate. He's not prejudiced. He is value-driven citizen. He's patriotic. I love to be next to him. Wherever he moves to, I would love to move along with him because every neighborhood he lives improves. And everybody he deals with, he is truthful. And every time you trust him, he will fulfill. This is a man that I've been looking for. This is a woman that I've been looking for. And guess what? He happened to be a Muslim. He happened to be a merciful messenger. So my brothers and my sisters, our only job is to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know how do you serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You serve his creation. We cannot feed Allah. We cannot clothe Allah. We cannot give money to Allah. We cannot assist Allah. But what we do, we look at his creation. We marvel it. We love it. We embrace it. And then we do the best we can to preserve it. They don't have to love us. They don't have to know us. They don't have to believe in Islam. As a matter of fact, they can even be the worst enemy of Islam and Muslims. But it is us and our hearts and who we are, our values, our Islam, our teaching, our morality, our ethical practices, our faith that should dictate our relationship with them, not what comes from them, is what we are exuding. We are Muslims. We are proud. We should be proud to be Muslims. So let's focus on our local and national issue. We need good schools. We need good hospitals. We need good environment. We need public safety. We need harmony. We need economic progress. We need low unemployment. And we need home ownership. We need infrastructure. We need everything other people need. And to do that, let us love and work with our neighbors. Now that leads me to this critical issue, Muslims and Jews again. We have always been together. Up until 75 years ago, during the creation of the State of Israel. Then hell broke. But even then, some were on the right side of history. Sometimes you have to accept the inevitable. You may not like it, you may not understand it at first, but you have to accept it. But nonetheless, we were always neighbors, always dealing with each other, peacefully coexisting, even when there were challenges, even whatever. But Jews were always preferred to be next to Muslims. And Muslims were always recognized that if you do not treat your Jewish brothers and sisters as you would your own biological brother, you're not Muslim. That's what we've been taught. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us that. And therefore they always love to be next to each other because they have common enemies. If you are anti-Semite, you are 100% Islamophobe, 100%. That's why I tell these foolish, ignorant, these people who call themselves Muslim and then, demonstrate anti-Semitism. And you're foolish. You're foolish. You're promoting your own self-hate. If you're promoting anti-Semitism, you're promoting hatred toward Muslims. You just don't know anything. Yeah, you may be upset with Israel, you may be upset with this, but that should never ever lead you to be part of anti-Semitic crazes. Because everybody who hates the Jews, 9 out of 10 times hate Muslims, even more. Wallahi, if you promote anti-Semitism, you're promoting Muslim hate. Wallahi, if you promote anti-Semitism, you're promoting Muslim hate. And if one hurts a Jew, one will hurt 2 times Muslim. One hates a Jew, one will hate 2 times Muslim. So you must be the biggest foolish as Muslim promoting anti-Semitism. The biggest coward, the biggest ignorant. If you're part of a group that promotes anti-Semitism, you are nothing but a tool of Satan because you don't know who you are. Why would you promote Muslim hate. And promoting Muslim hate is promoting anti-Semitism. My brothers and my sisters, let us come back to Wisdom platform. We have so much local and national interest to be protected. Recently, there are people who are advocating boycotting Biden. He said, when you go to the voting for the national election, don't write Biden. And guess what? I'm not here telling you who to vote for. But I do know one thing. The Democrats at this particular time are better for protecting Muslim interests than when you have these crazy mega people. If they're in charge, now you understand. There are a lot of Arab communities that stood up together during Trump and said, we are Americans. We're not going to allow the president to discriminate against us. And they formed so many wonderful organizations. And then they became agents of change to protect themselves and their communities. And that is a wonderful thing. But when we allow these misleading elements in our communities that say, don't vote for this, so that we teach them lesson, you're crazy, you only amount to 1%, and even that 1%, not everybody votes. What power do you have except the wisdom? We can use wisdom. Don't listen to these people who are so angry that they want to destroy Islam without even knowing it. They want to destroy our entry without knowing it. Don't elect anybody solely because of Palestine, Israel. Wallahi, that has been the biggest setback for Muslims because we need good schools. We need kosher and halal. By the way, let me tell you one thing in terms of anti-Semitic and Islamophobe. Kosher and halal in Europe, we find out that if you allow one group to be denied their religious rights, the other group is done. Halal, kosher, all the other religious holidays and practice, we gotta be smart. We gotta embrace our Jewish brothers and sisters. We have so much really common religious, principles. We share history. We share family, values. And we should be the #1 defender of the Jewish community wherever they are. Because when we defend them, we're defending ourselves. When we defend their values, we defend ourselves. But now let me tell you what some Muslims are using to indirectly become anti-Semitic. They say, but we love the Jews. But this Zionism, this Israel Zionism, over 90% of the Jewish world today are Zionists. You cannot separate it. Now it is sexy to say, oh, no, I don't support Zionism, but I love Jewish people. But not over 90% of Jews are Zionism. The Jewish people some Muslims are using, these are anti-Israel, anti-Zionism. So if you associate with them, you are now telling the Jewish world that you don't like them because you don't like Israel, you don't like Zionism. The Jewish leaders that are demonstrating and holding signs, they are anti-Israel, they are anti-Zionism. And if you embrace them, you're sending a wrong message. You're sending a wrong message. I want you to know that. And a lot of them are proud to say, you see, even Jewish people don't no. Those Jewish people, they declare Israel as illegal according to their books. And by the way, do you know how many people in Islam do we have that declare so many crazy things? Do you know how many branches we have that do so many crazy things, create so many bid'ah? Would you associate with that to say, oh, you see, Islam, would you do that? You wouldn't do it. Therefore, why would you do it dealing with the Jewish community? The people you are sowing the wall that support your cause don't like Israel, don't like Zionism. Over 90% of the Jewish world are Zionists. You're sending a wrong message, my brothers and my sisters. That's number one. Number two, we are blessed community. So far, when you go to Ivy League schools, when you go to hospitals, you see Muslims, people who struggle. You see, the Muslim immigrants, in particular in the United States and Canada, they come from, different circumstances, but their children are given the opportunity to be in Ivy League schools. Even in New York City, specialized, high schools, you will see so many Muslim children. It makes you proud and happy. But this is a power that we can utilize by collaborating with others, not saying, now I have power, I don't care about you. No. Muslims and Jews must build stronger bonds because we share the same value, family value, religious principle, same history. If you don't like Jews, you don't like Muslims. If you hurt Jews, you will hurt Muslims. Fact. Nobody can refute that. Therefore, a Jew, the first person a Jew must call for protection is Muslim. For friendship, Muslim. And whenever Jewish people have problem, Muslims should be there. This is our job, and if we do it, we do it right. Now, last but not least, in terms of Israel and Palestine, we are advocates for two-state solution, and we will always advocate for Israel and Palestine. We believe that OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which also the broader umbrella for Arab League, 57 nations OIC, 22 nations Arab League, should do the right thing now and come now, and formally and officially and fully make a declarative statement, global statement saying OIC and Arab League have officially recognized the sovereignty of Israel and the safety and security of its citizens. Wallahi, if they do that today, in a couple of weeks following, we will have a state of Israel. The reason why Israel is so crazy about everything, because Israelis are not saved, because Muslims don't recognize their sovereignty. And Israeli citizens cannot, they cannot trust the Muslim neighbors because of what has happened. Just like the Palestinians cannot trust a lot of the Israelis, same thing. But the moment OIC and Arab League do the right thing, the leadership, and said, we are making a declarative statement and all Muslims are bound by it. We are officially, formally, and fully recognize the sovereignty of the state of Israel and the safety and the security of its citizens, like we do our own OIC nations and Arab League nations. Game changer. The state of Palestine will be born the same declaration. Israel cannot allow a militant state next to it that wants to destroy it. If Hamas or any other group said, river to sea, no Israel, only Palestine, imagine that. I mean, we really have to be fair in terms of how we see things. If Israel is already there, and Israel, and there are groups that say, we don't recognize you and you're not going to survive, we're going to eliminate you. Now you want to have peace with that and, empower those. Then no, the more you empower the enemies, then the worse it gets for Israel. So we have to be reasonable. We have to understand. We love Palestinian cause and no Muslim will ever abandon it. That's a fact. But we all have to be realistic. What we're dealing with today after October 7, Israel is fighting for survival. I was there. I know that a lot of Muslims don't know Israel is fighting for survival. It's no longer conflict. It's a matter of survival. You know why? If Hamas or the group that attacked it on October 7, victorious, Israel is finished. Finished. And the more we know about the intricacy of what's going on, the easier it is for us, to deal with the situations. I'll end with this. The Holy Land is not defined in the current colonial borders. The Holy Land is not defined in the current colonial borders, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, and Saudi. If the Muslim world, if Arab League and OIC really love so much about Palestine and Palestinian cause, we will be readjusting the borders so that Jordan and Lebanon and Syria and Egypt, and to the extent Saudi, will say, we want to have two states in the Holy Land. We want to have state of Israel and a state of Palestine. And we will do it. We will do it by readjusting colonial borders. These are not divine borders. These are not godly borders. These are colonial borders as we have it now. So therefore, we can undo what colonial terrorists did. They did it according to their liking. We can undo it for God's sake, for Palestinian sake, for Israeli sake, and for the OIC sake and for the global sake. We can do it. And by the way, a lot of people think it's crazy, but that is where we're heading to. We will realize that the Holy Land is not confined in the colonial confinement. And as soon as we open that Pandora's box, game changer. Everybody will live. Jordan will be beneficiary, Lebanon will be beneficiary, Syria will be beneficiary, Egypt will be beneficiary, Saudi, and everybody else. Palestinians can no longer be stateless people, getting killed every single day, humiliated every single day. Children have nothing to do but death and destruction. We, the Muslims, must change that, but not the way we're doing it by associating with those who don't want Israel to exist. As long as we associate with those groups who don't want the existence of Israel, we're not going to achieve anything for Palestinians, and we're going to prolong their suffering, and we're going to cause more of their deaths. Let us be wise. Let us be Muslims. Let us be righteous. Let us have leadership, and let us be guided by wisdom, by knowing that we must protect Israel to create Palestine. Two states, side by side, in peace, love, harmony, and progress together. Israel could be the greatest asset to the Muslim world, not the current liability now. And we can do it. And it is our moral obligation. Israel and Palestine can be had this year if OIC and Arab League finally do the righteous deeds that they needed to have done long time ago. We can all talk about Jerusalem, this and that. That can come later. But in terms of two-state solution, we can do it now and then deal with Jerusalem. But the first thing we must do is recognize Israel, recognize its sovereignty, protect its citizens, and give them security and assurance. Then they will know that now we have neighbors that we can coexist with. Our safety is no longer threatened. Our sovereignty is not questionable. We are a state like any other state. Now we can expand the Abrahamic Accord that has already been working. I want to leave you with this. If you love Palestine and Palestinians, you will not deny Israel and its safety and security. If you love Palestine and Palestinians, you will never ever challenge the sovereignty of Israel and the safety and security of its citizens. Let us love Israel and Palestine and work toward having it. Let us never associate or embrace or support elements that want to destroy Israel. The more we embrace them, the more suffering we inflict on Palestinians, and the worse it gets for them, and the farther it is to have Palestinian state. The moment Israel knows that I have partner that I can trust and rely on and work with, so that my sovereignty is certain, the safety of my citizens and their security is guaranteed, Palestine will be born, or reborn actually. And that is my message to you. Let us concentrate on our local and international issue. Let us never ever centralize all our problems into Palestine, so that our support of candidates only determined by how much they hate Israel. We cannot do that. We cannot do it. We cannot do it. We have to support candidates that support our local and national interests, advancement, protection, and everything else. But not just exclusively based on who hates Israel, defund Israel, sanction Israel, boycott Israel. These things are contradictory to our wellness and our progress. And I guarantee, and I'm saying it as a pro-Palestine, I will never shy away from it. I'm a Muslim. I can never ever be nothing but pro-Palestine. I'm a Muslim. But I'm wise. I'm educated. I'm informed. I'm not going to be led by anti-Israel groups to destroy Palestinians. And they have been doing it. The more you're anti-Israel, the more destruction you bring to Palestine. Let's end it. God bless you all. I'll be more than happy for us, to have this conversation. This is the perfect moment for Muslims and Jews to come together to have frank and fruitful discussion. Let us now come together as brothers and sisters in faith on the Abrahamic family bond. Muslims and Jews. This is the most perfect time for Muslim Americans to embrace their Jewish brothers and sisters, because the Jewish brothers and sisters, they're scared, they're concerned, they're confused, and they don't know what tomorrow will bring. And they don't know whether Muslims will be there or Muslims will even attack them. They don't know. And when we saw them, don't worry. We are there with you. We embrace you. We are family. Your protection is our protection. Your dignity is our dignity. Your vulnerability is our vulnerability. We are in it together. The moment we saw Jewish Americans, that gesture, game changer. And we can all rejoice being the family of Abraham. My brothers and sisters, reach out to your Jewish rabbis, Jewish leaders, and tell them, I know that there's a conflict going on. We're so hurt by what is going on in Gaza, but we are Americans. We are human beings, and we have interest in America. We're going to protect it. We're brothers and sisters. Yes, we don't want what's going on to continue, but that should never ever kill every relationship that we have built, or we can build, or we need to build. Let us reach out to the Jewish community now. This is the time they need the Muslims, because this is the worst time, the scariest time. But this time when we reach out to them, they know we're friends, we're allies, and together we can work to fix it, the Holy Land, to the likability of all of us. But let's not embrace their enemies, whether they're Jewish enemy, Jewish anti-Israel enemy, anti-Zionism, or anybody else, or liberals and far left. The more we embrace anti-Jews, anti-Israel, the more we show them we are your enemy. And it must stop now. It must stop now. The Jewish people you are demonstrating with, they're anti-Israel, anti-Zionism. They are not the friend of the broader Jewish community, because they don't like Israel, they don't like Zionism. And Israel is the only Jewish state in the world. Muslims have 57 nations on the OIC. Arabs have 22 nations on the Arab League. Proud Arab culture, proud Arab history, proud Arab heritage, proud Arab legacy, proud Arab independence, proud Arab power, and proud Muslim nation. The Jewish people only have one tiny Israel, one tiny small Israel. And if we associate with those who don't like that tiny Israel, the Jewish people said, you see, I can't trust you, because you're showing me the Jewish person, he's Jewish, but he's anti-Israel, anti-Zionism. Now you're saying, because you want them to empower you to destroy us. That's not going to work. Let us associate with those who love and embrace Israel, and those who love and embrace Jewish and Jewishness, so that the Jewish people will love and embrace us as Muslims, so that Palestine will be reborn and Palestinians will have a state that they can be proud of, so that everybody in the region will benefit from expanded Abraham Accords. God bless you all, and may God assist our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land, both Jews and Muslims, Israelis and Palestinians, and everyone else who's affected directly or indirectly, physically, morally, and psychologically or spiritually by the conflict in the Holy Land. It is in our hands to make it happen as Muslims, and I hope that you will listen to my voice in the righteousness, not wickedness. I hope that you will not misinterpret or misplace or misdirect my statement. I hope you will fully understand the wisdom behind it and the clean heart where it comes from. I don't mean anything other than empowering Muslims, empowering Palestinians, and fight for Palestine, and embracing Muslims and Jews in the West, so that we protect one another, because we have common interests, and then we have common, principles of faith, and we have common enemies: anti-Semite, anti-Muslims. Period. May God continue to strengthen us and open our hearts and minds to understand the best of speech and follow it, and then to move away from anything that we misinterpret, so that people will be misled. I am only speaking from the heart, and what I speak, if you see it on that vein, you will see the wisdom behind it. But of course, if you twist it, then you twist it on your likeness, and then it becomes nothing but just talk. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and thank you for taking heed to my advice, and thank you for allowing me. I know it's a long thing. I was going to do 25, but the subject is so near and dear, and so important. That's why it's now almost 45 minutes. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.